So we are here on Necromancer because it's time for me to do the Scourge Elite Spec.
Okay, Scourge, right. So I am
Scourge.
pretty curious about this because Scourge feels kind of limited in some ways.
It does feel kind of limited, doesn't it?
In terms of like crazy variety you could go for.
Yeah, it's kind of like this build. I mean, the three I have left are Mirage, Scourge, and Spellbreaker, and all three of them are just kind of like everything you do is overpowered. Why even?
So sorry, wait. Is your aim to not make overpowered builds on this series?
No, well, yes, kind of, yes. So, but unfortunately, it turned out that this ended up being overpowered for a particular thing.
Okay.
So you know, Mr. Fluffy Bottom, right? He doesn't like being. He doesn't like being a bad guy. He is the nicest necromancer in the world. Look at those gentle eyes.
Oh, does that mean you've created a Scourge support?
I have created. Well, no. I'm gonna. Yes. But I'm gonna tell you now. The build name. You ready?
All right, I'm ready for it.
Okay. The build name is How to Make Friends and Trivialize Content.
Oh God, how to make friends and trivialize. Okay, go on.
And so,
teach me more.
All Mr. Fluffy Bottom the Char wants to do is make friends. So he just made friends with you. Congratulations.
Awesome.
He has his little.
I think that's cheating a little bit. You can't take your established friends and credit the build with that. You can't do that.
I think you can.
That's
you
cheating.
should just go down your friends list and make sure that they're all there. But you also have your miniature. Who's your friend?
Okay, yeah. Right. So you've got a Golem mini. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
Why does Mr. Fluffy Bottom have an Asuran themed mini?
It was the biggest one I could find.
Really? Is that the answer? You'll notice mine, to swing it back onto me here, is the mummy legs to go with my backpack, which is the top of the mummy. Look at that.
Whoa.
Mind blow.
That is high quality. But no, you have plenty of other friends. Like, if you can't find friends in the real world, you could always just make your own friends, like this.
Okay, this is great. This is exactly why we're on the internet, right?
Look at this friend I made. And
are you serious? This is a Minion Monster Scourge?
He does whatever I want him to do because he's my friend and not your friend. And this is my
this
friend
a Minion?
too.
Can we just cut to the chat? Is this a Minion Monster Scourge?
This is my friend too.
Oh my God! It's a Minion. Is this actually the build? It's a Minion Monster Scourge.
And this is my friend too.
Oh my God! I can see you running death magic. You have Flesh of the Master.
And these are all my friends.
Oh, for PvE, I would love a really valuable synergistic Minion Monster build. So
I gotta tell you, this build is not cool. This is the it destroys PvE.
What do you mean it destroys PvE?
I mean like I said, it's how to make friends. We just made a bunch of friends.
We did. Yeah.
And trivialize content.
Bloody fleshy friends that haunt.
And trivialize content. It is the most easy build to just steamroll through any kind of content.
Okay, all right. Can we just slow down here, though? Right, I understand wholeheartedly core Tyria and personal story launch stuff being trivialized by AI. Like, if you play a ranger, it's so abundantly, clearly, obviously apparent just from having a single pet. And if you play an MM, you do get that, right? But are we talking about even Heart of Thorns? Are we talking about even Path of Fire, current living world? Are you saying that gets trivialized?
Do you know of a certain mastery point called Balthazar's Rest?
Yes, I do. Yeah, have you got footage of doing the Balthazar's hero point on this?
I could easily solo Balthazar and his dogs.
Wow. Can you do that to any champion?
You could do it to any champion. Dude,
this actually sounds great.
Yeah, it is the easiest thing in the world.
Wow. Okay, so when you say that, is that an exaggeration? I mean, we've seen a lot of easy builds through our time playing the game.
No, it's not. It's not an exaggeration.
Do you really think this is? Does it take ages to kill though?
No. Well, like if you go to the golem, in the aerodrome, and you put on realistic buffs on this guy, you do 12k DPS.
Okay, so it is a bit slow of a killer.
It's a little slower, but it's not like stupid Ellie healer or Druid healer or Rev healer slow.
So let me ask: do you give might to your minions then, so that they do more than conventional minion monster? Because you're a Scourge and you get might generation and stuff. I'm guessing you give them barrier. You do.
You do.
This is kind of cool. I'm kind of excited about this. I remember when Scourge was coming out, people were talking about how you could support your minions a little bit better in theory on this because some healing mechanism, I think. But obviously you can give them barrier and stuff, and you can might them up. So is this better than a Reaper that runs Rise, for example?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
I mean, Reaper is like the king of this kind of content as well.
Reaper's pretty good too, but the difference between Reaper and this is that you always have access to your minion saving skills and your self-healing skills.
Okay.
So
I've noticed here, by the way, you have 3 minions. Oh, and you're running Bone minions. There's one utility skill not accounted for, though, correct?
Nope.
Oh, no, because you're running Shade, Fiend, double minions, and Flesh Golem. Your heal, though, your heal is not... You don't have the heal minion.
That's right, I don't. Because I've got Well of Blood, which is...
Well of Blood, which just got PvP buffed, and very soon, guys, they might bring to PvE that cooldown reduction.
Hopefully.
So that'd be pretty good.
The extra health per second also.
Didn't they update Haunt as well, the Shadow Fiend skill? Didn't that get an update, I think, quite recently?
Yeah, well, it generates life force. I don't know if it always did, but it gives blindness, chill, and weakness, which is nice, and generates life force.
Okay. All right. Well, so talk me through it. Talk me through the traits and stuff. I'm really actually curious about this.
Let's do the
and
traits.
Hopefully, people have had some cool footage of this actually kicking ass.
Oh yeah.
What we got then?
All right. So to begin with, let's go with Scourge.
Well, actually, can we start with Death? I think Death is a really good place to start on any MM build, just to sort of describe.
Sure. So Death is very straightforward, except you have a choice at the end. You have Flesh of the Master as your miner.
So minions have increased health. They gain bonus toughness for each minion that you control. So you, by having all these minions right now, have 5 Flesh of the Master.
That's right. So an extra 100 toughness. Not so great, not so bad, but the health increase is very strong. It's very good for this.
And you also, though... So your next... Sorry, we'll talk about it in a second. Your next trait is what?
Your next trait is the Necromantic Corruption.
So minions deal more damage and take condies from you. When a minion attacks, it transfers condies to its target. So you're extremely condy resistant.
As long as you're keeping your minions alive, which in PvE, especially with this build, is extremely easy. Before Scourge came out, you had Reaper, which kind of helped, but it wasn't always the easiest thing in the world to keep all of your minions alive all the time.
Right.
But with Scourge, it is very possible to do so.
Okay.
And with this trait, they'll do a little more damage, but more importantly, with 5 of them, you lose a condition every 2 seconds. So you are protected from all conditions all the time, essentially.
If you're miting the hell out of your minions as well, the 25% damage increase is like...
It's pretty good.
More profound, I guess, right?
It's pretty good, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And,
okay, and then the Grandmaster.
Grandmaster, you have a choice. So either you go minions again, and you go lesser poison. You go Death Nova with the lesser
Death
poison.
Nova,
cloud.
hell yeah! Now this one I love. So when when you or any of your minions die, they explode and create a lesser poison cloud. The cloud ticks damage as it lands. It's poison. It's unblockable. But also you get Summon a Jagged Horror whenever you kill something, which is great because then that means if the first one we looked at, Flesh of the Master, you currently have 5 Flesh of the Master, but if you score lots of kills, you summon lots of mini minions.
That's right.
That give you even more, right?
Except not that many, because there's an internal cooldown recharge of summoning minions of 15 seconds, and they only last 30 seconds. They added that.
I remember when they put that in the game.
Yeah.
That never used to be there. I hate that. That's really annoying.
I know. So it's good. Like, if it didn't have that lifetime duration of 30 seconds, this would be the perfect trait all the time. But since it does have that lifetime duration of 30 seconds, unlike your other minions, you only have a possibility of 2 of these Jagged Horrors up at any time, which makes
really lame.
Which makes it okay, especially with all they're going to be dying every 30 seconds and doing that lesser poison cloud damage. So that's not so bad, but it's not that great.
I wish that they just got rid of the ICD on it, because what's annoying is this only exists. If people don't know, this only exists because people were cheesing with these jagged horrors like the golem and stuff, and summoning tons of them, and then you get serious issues of server lag and things that comes from it.
Imagine if it didn't have an internal cooldown in World versus World.
Yeah, but I mean they're so weakened. Well, yeah, for lag, right? Yeah. Lag is a big problem. But then have that only for the World versus World version of the trait. They can split it now, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, so that's the reason why they did it. Maybe they'll change it at some point. So right now it's an okay trait for this build. It goes into the whole minion idea, but it's not perfect.
And the thing is that on kill, right? You're keeping your guys alive, so the explosions. Like, what value do you get?
Yeah, well, yeah, but except the jagged horrors will be exploding.
Oh, right, true.
Yeah. So if you don't do that, you do something a little. This does a little more damage because you'll have some more minions out there, but you could go instead Unholy Sanctuary.
Okay, regenerate health while you're in your shroud, and if your life force is above a certain threshold, then your shroud activates if you take a lethal blow. Right.
That's right.
So as a Scourge,
even
that's
if it's
got an
on
interesting. Cooldown. Wow, actually, how does that work on Scourge, Boots? How does that feel?
If you, it's pretty great. You get a large barrier, and you heal through the barrier as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, because your Shroud here doesn't remove your abilities, right? So you can go into Shroud and keep doing your regular stuff, and it's like.
And actually, I don't run these runes. I run them for a little while just to try it out. But Runes of the Rebirth.
Oh yeah, you could do the double barrier synergy.
Yeah,
do you have footage of that? Oh.
I might have footage of it, but the issue. So unlike some other traits. This one doesn't override. Like, for some other traits like this, they trigger at the same time. So your Rune of Rebirth would trigger at the same time as, let's say, your AED or something, and it would be useless. But this, they would alternate cooldowns because only one would trigger at any given time.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's good. But yeah, Unholy Sanctuary, you could use this if you feel like you are not as tanky as you really are, but you really don't need it in PvE, I would say.
Dude, I want to see you running a minion like Lich, running a rune like Lich Runes or something, just to get the extra minions for the flavor of it. But
yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Anyway,
are you actually running Lich Runes? Oh, dude, I wish Lich Runes had a buff because minion monsters are such a cool thing to do in an RPG. Anyway, yeah, sorry, go ahead. So there you go. Death's pretty good. That's all about minion augmentation, right?
Yeah. So minion augmentation, death is fantastic. Unholy Sanctuary, like I said, you would run it if you really want to go brain dead mode, because it's just another way that you're not going to die. So then you go Blood Magic because it's hyper powerful.
Okay, so Blood. I'm excited about this. I'm glad to hear you went Blood because Blood ties perfectly with minions, right?
Exactly. So with Blood Magic, you get, as your adept trait, you get Ritual of Life, which when you start reviving an ally, Well of Blood revives allies. When you start reviving an ally, you cast Well of Blood, another Well of Blood, the same thing as your heal skill. And on top of that, Well of Blood revives allies every pulse. So, like I said, this is a build to make friends and trivialize content. Not only are you making friends when you want to do solo stuff by making your own friends, but this trait, along with your other things that you have in this build, really helps you make friends out in the open world.
Really? You've just made me think it would be kind of cool if there was a minion that you could res by pressing F, like if that was actually a thing.
If that was a thing, yeah. But no, but if you're just going around with, I don't know, a group doing bounties or something and people are dying, I don't think there's many. There might be one other class that could res as fast as a Necro right now, but right now the Necro is probably the fastest res in the game.
Yeah, well, I think it's on par with other stuff like this, right? But yeah,
I don't know,
it's extremely strong.
Because of a few other traits I'm going to tell you about. In your master slot, you're going to go Vampiric Presence.
Absolutely, this one's really cool. So you and your nearby allies siphon health with attacks, and it gets stronger while you're in Shroud. But so what this means is all your minions, once you get in combat, they all start siphoning health.
That's right.
Which combos as well with one of the miners, I think you skipped over, by the way.
Yeah, the miner, your minions also steal health, but there's no internal cooldown, and your minions also steal health. So they steal a lot more health.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Blood is made for minions in a weird way as well.
Exactly.
And your dodge rolls drop that mark, which can put regen on them to keep them alive as well.
That's right. So it's got a half a second internal cooldown. The minions won't ever beat that internal cooldown, so that's fine. But for you, it's a little annoying. I wish there wasn't there, but it's there. What are you going to do? It's just very powerful at the time, right now.
Yeah, they buffed this, right? Vampiric Presence used to be much, much smaller and scaled really badly, but they improved the scaling and added the ICD to shield it.
That's right.
But it is more impactful than it used to be before that balance patch. If people haven't been watching very closely, this is a really fun trait to pick as a Necro now, when in the past it was a bit more iffy.
And so just to buff Resing one more time, we have this Grandmaster Minor, Last Rites. Allies near you don't lose health while downed.
Yeah, so... I mean, there's nothing really more to say about that.
Yeah,
that doesn't help you with your minions.
Doesn't, because they don't go down. And then finally, as your final thing, you're gonna go Transfusion.
Okay, I thought it would be Transfusion. So Shroud 4, which as a Scourge is Garish Pillar, by the way.
That's right.
But when you pop this on activation, it teleports dead people to you. It heals them it revives them a little bit, and that's it basically, right?
And
Pulses revival.
Yeah, but not only that. Okay, so this is the go-to.
And
ability.
heals. That's the other thing. Sorry.
Yeah, so it heals for like 600 health every second for 9 pulses. So it is a really strong heal on a 15-second cooldown in PvE.
Yeah, whereas Core Necro and Reaper have their skill 4 hidden behind F1 and all that other stuff. As a Scourge, it's just like, you got Life Force, you can use it every 15 seconds. Again,
exactly.
Again, again.
Exactly. So like if you see someone going down really low, almost fully dead, this is, like I said, the quickest way to res people, because you drop your Well of Blood on somebody, start healing them, that casts a second Well of Blood, and you cast your Garish Pillar for the Transfusion for an additional revival per
it's
per
nuts.
pulse.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
It's insane. It's 16% per second on top of your normal resing.
Well, 14, right? But yeah, it's kind of nuts.
No, it's 7 plus 7.
Oh,
plus
yeah,
2.
yeah, because you get the 2 on top as well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. So there's, I don't think right now there's any better in the game than Blood Necro.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for PvE, I'm sure it's fine. But in other areas of the game, Blood Magic was recently just buffed as well, and it's like people have really been catching on to how strong it is. Even just the teleport on its own, like in PvP and stuff, the teleport on its own is like a huge playmake, let alone all the other stuff you can dump on top of it, you know?
Exactly, yeah. But I think we should go to Scourge finally.
Okay, so you've got a ton of augments for your minions, and then a ton of ways to re-sustain your minions through lifesteal and support and heals.
Yourself. Yeah.
And yourself, yeah. And so finally Scourge. Well, how does Scourge tie it all together? What have you picked?
Well, Scourge has some pretty supporty things as well. So you have, for your minor, you do Abrasive Grit, which says, granting an ally barrier removes conditions afflicting them and grants might.
Okay, so Condi cleansing your minions isn't going to be that relevant in PvE too
much.
No,
but it also Condi cleanses you and your allies.
Yeah, but the might is interesting here, right?
The might's interesting. Gives you 2 stacks
There's
of might.
no ICD on that. So any source of barrier, anywhere in the game, you give might with it.
That's right. That's right.
So how many different sources can you stack on there?
You can do 1, 2, 3 different sources, but you could also do through runes and stuff, but I haven't because it's not that necessary. Actually, you could do 4, 5. You can do
Let me ask you something, Boots. Let me ask you something. What I'm really excited by. Do you give all your minions perma 25 might?
No. No, I don't.
That's a
because
shame. Do you get close?
They go up to not permanently, but they could go up to 20 something.
Oh, okay. That's what I really want to see Scourge just do. Tons of might for the minions so that they start hitting hard.
It's not necessarily worth it.
Oh, okay. All right. Why not? Why is might not very good for the minions?
Well, might's fine for the minions. It's just it doesn't affect the lifesteal because the lifesteal is off of your might.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fair. I just want to see, I want to be able to be a Necro that buffs my minions up and makes them hit really hard.
And you can do it to your friends, too.
Yeah. Okay, alright, so Abrasive Grit, that's pretty simple, though, and that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, and Desert Empowerment buffs that up as well, so anytime you summon a Sandshade, it grants barrier to allies near it, so that's a very strong... Well, not a huge barrier if you don't have any healing power, but with the healing power I have, it's a 1700 barrier, which is pretty dang good.
So can you press F1 now? Because that should give all your minions might by pressing F1, right? Because it gives them, it gives them barrier. It's so cool to see minions with barrier, dude. Minions get barrier, minions get might. Just from pressing F1.
So, again, harder to kill the minions. And then finally, because you have so many friends, all of your minions, and maybe some friends in real life, who knows, you have to go Sand Savant.
Okay, so you can only summon one shade at a time, but it has reduced recharge, it affects more things, and it reduces
recharge.
Yeah, we already said it reduces recharge.
Yeah, so it's
but what I wanted to say is this is really strong because of your Grandmaster Minor, right? So you get a permanent 15% damage reduction now. Instead of having to juggle, you just get it all the time.
Exactly.
From Blood of Sand.
Exactly, and also since it affects more targets, when you everything around you is a separate target that it affects than your shade. So you could affect 10 targets with one shade like this.
Oh, I see. Right, because you both count as separate.
So a little question for you: who do you think in Tyrian history is the greatest necromancer of all time?
Vizier Kilbron.
You're wrong.
Oh, come on, he's badass.
I'm sorry, man. It's obviously Traherne.
Traherne is the greatest necromancer. That great guardian, great sword wielding necromancer that does mesmery stuff in one instance as well, right? Actually, he is the greatest because he has multiple flesh golems, right? He summons like 4 flesh golems at once.
Like 100 flesh golems. And he could wield a great sword before a Reaper was even a thing.
That's true. That's very true.
And so he what was his role in the pact?
In the pact, he was the commander.
No, he wasn't the commander.
He was. Oh no! We're the commander of the pact, right?
That's right.
Marshal of the pact? I don't know what.
He is the marshal of the pact.
It is marshal, is it? Yeah.
Yes. So as like an homage to.
Oh God! What is this? Go on.
As an homage to the greatest necromancer of all time, Marshal Traherne. Even though I prefer using Zealot's armor for this build.
Okay, so Zealot's power, precision, healing power. So you get barrier, you get damage, yeah.
You get barrier damage, and that's all you need. What you should be running, just to pay homage. And also, Traherne's very good at making friends, right?
Right.
Yeah, so just to pay homage, you would run martial gear.
Okay, what is martial gear?
Martial gear is top power, top healing power, small precision, small condition damage.
Oh, really? You see, I've never even... Is that a Path of Fire set, is it?
It's a Path of Fire set, yeah.
Wow, okay, strange. So you get a little bit of Condi pressure that you can throw out there as well.
Yeah, just a little bit of Condi pressure, because remember, all the conditions that you're suffering from get taken from you and then sent back to your foe by your minions. So even if you can't put out that many Condis with this build, although you do with like Torment and stuff with your Shroud, you're still... Any Condis put to you go back to your opponent, so...
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're against Condi heavy damage, you can actually put Condi heavily out against you, kind of thing.
That's right.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna put on all my martial gear just to play along. Honestly, though, I do think I like Zealots more.
Yeah, Zealots gives you max value out of the lifesteal, right? Like, that's everything you're gonna care most about. And then the other good one would be, like, wouldn't Harriers be alright? Like, concentration for all the might and stuff?
Harriers is pretty good. Concentration for the might. If you do want to give 25 stacks of might to all your minions, you would use that instead. But you would do less damage because you wouldn't have the crit chance anymore.
Let me ask, what weapons are you running, by the way? Because, like, if you run Torch, you can give might out again, too.
Yes, exactly. So if you're doing Martial, you're going to be running Torch. Because it does some conditions, so that helps as well. And yes, so what you could do, a little spike if you want to on your enemy, is get your Shadow Fiend to go attack the guy. He does 3 conditions on them: blindness, chill, and weakness. You do vulnerability with your axe. You do cripple with Unholy Feast. You do burning and torment with Harrowing Wave. So when you
Desert Shroud, yeah, it's torment as well.
Exactly. So when you use Oppressive Collapse, you would be getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 2, 14 might for all your friends.
Damn, 14 might, that's good. That's definitely, on top of the other stuff, that's definitely a spike of up to 25 for periods of time, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's great.
So especially if you're using the Harrier's Amulet or your Harrier gear, you would probably bring it up to 20 to 25 at all times.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah, but I don't like doing that because it's not that necessary, I don't think.
Oh, but it's about your friends. You gotta be nice to your friends. You gotta make them feel powerful and in control of their lives. You know?
I know. So I have 3 sets of gear for this build because...
Christ. Why have you made 3 sets of gear for this build?
Because why not? I don't know.
Fair enough.
So we got the martial gear, and with the martial gear, for some reason, I put on Runes of the Mad King.
Oh, boots. What, because you get bird friends? Is that it?
Because you get bird friends. 3, it's just a bunch of
Does that mean that one of your
friends.
setups is Privateer and another one is Ogre?
I refuse to answer that question.
That is what that means, isn't it? That's not what they are. I can't believe it.
Okay, so hold on a second, though. Hold on. So, Rune of the Mad King, because it gives you some extra power for your damage, and then it does a bit of bleeding duration as well. So you'd be running your Jagged Horrors, your Death Nova trait with this build, because you do some more bleeds with that, and when you dodge, you do some bleeds.
The amount of ways you've justified the synergy
Shut
of
up.
that little bit of duration of these power runes.
But also,
every which way possible.
Summoning the birds is also, if there's 3 targets, that's 42 stacks or 42 stacks of attacks, which means you life steal 42 times with it.
Well, not really though, because of the ICD, right?
Well, there's the one without the ICD too.
Vampiric doesn't have one. Okay, fair enough. Ish, alright. Go on then.
Yeah, exactly. So you do heal a lot with that. You'll probably heal, 2,000 or 3,000 or something with it total. And it does more damage. They steal the life as well. So it's a nice little tiny combo there, but you don't have to do that because if you don't use Martial Gear, you're going to be using your Zealots. And with Zealots, I've gone Rune of the Privateer for my bird friend.
So you get the bird. How long does the bird last? I haven't ran Privateer runes for ages. They were once upon a time stupidly broken in PvP, and it was amazing. They would tear people's faces off. But then they got rained back down.
They are still pretty good. So it lasts, it's on a 60-second cooldown, the summon, and it lasts 60 seconds.
Oh, so it's 100% uptime as long as you're lucky with the proc on creative.
And it's a 50% chance of summoning it.
Damn, that's just like a full-on, just straight up, hey, have a minion with you then.
Exactly, except something has to hit you.
Okay, yeah. Right.
Yeah. As long as you get hit twice every 60 seconds, you're gonna have a minion with you all the time. And
that's cool.
This build is all about keeping them up too, so it's not gonna die.
Yeah, that is cool. That I actually do kind of like that. That's an extra guy. And the other stats on it aren't too terrible, right?
No, you got full power, which is good for the lifesteal and your damage, obviously. And it gives might duration. And on top of that, it's 25% when struck to shout Yar and grant 3 stacks of might to nearby allies for 10 seconds.
So you get more of that, yeah. I actually like Privateer. That sounds really strong.
Yeah,
better
really
than the
good
other
with this
choices,
build.
honestly.
It's really good with this build. You could also do Ogre if you just want a flat 4% damage bonus, and you'll get the Ogre pet, which is also very strong. Actually, I think the Ogre pet might attack more often than the bird. Yeah. Slightly more often. The bird goes once every 1.5 seconds or something like that, and the Ogre does 2 or 3 times every 2 or 3 seconds.
Ogre runes are just generally good. They're very close to Scholar runes, guys. Ogre runes are extremely close to Scholar. They're like Scholar with a pet, basically.
Yeah. So Ogre runes are pretty good. You could run that with this instead. You could also, if you wanted to, do Citadel of Eternity? Crucible of Eternity? What's it called again?
Yeah, Crucible of Eternity. You get the Golem.
You can get the Golem, and the Golem has a knockdown, so that's nice too. The only problem with the Ogre pet and the Golem is that you have the cooldown is longer than the amount of time it stays up.
Right.
So it's 90 seconds to 60 seconds, so it's not necessarily a full... It's definitely not a full 100% uptime.
Yeah. But you could do a bit of breakbar damage.
You could do a little bit of breakbar damage. You could also do the Rune of the Necromancer if you want to. I know you were thinking about that. Was it Necromancer Rune? Yeah. Lich Rune. And that summons a Jagged Horror. But again, the Jagged Horror, I believe, is not on a... It's also not 100% uptime.
Yeah, they're really bad, and it's a shame.
And it's really bad, exactly.
Yeah.
So
if Lich Runes genuinely had a T6 on them that were summons of yours do 20% more damage, that might be too strong for a rune. But if it was something like that, it would be really good.
Yeah. Now the one thing I didn't test with Lich Runes even though I tried it for a little bit, I forgot to test whether or not your minion traits affect that minion.
Yeah, that's a good question as well. My gut would say no. But
Yeah, I'm not sure.
it's actually just one trait we're talking about, right? It's Necromantic Corruption. Does it do 25% more damage? Oh, and Death Nova as well, I guess, if you're running that. Does it explode when it dies?
Yeah.
I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt that they've coded that in properly, but
I don't know,
hopefully
they might
they
have.
would one day if they ever looked at this build. I think that this build should be good, by the way, because I honestly reckon maybe 1 in every 4 people who play this game, and especially nearly all of the ones that pick Necro, if you're doing it without a guide or friends or whatever, they nearly all go through Core Ulteria on minion monsters. Like, you see billions of minion monsters. It's because it's fun to build, but it's like, it's a shame that it bottoms out so much. But maybe not with a Boots Bad Scourge
I gotta
build.
tell you, though, it's just like, it's a face tank. It's insane how
passive it is.
How well this survives and kills things.
Okay. All right,
because you forget, in PvE, your minions take like 95% less damage.
Can I just ask very quickly to finish it off, do you have anything interesting on the sigils? Any synergies from the sigils?
I've done accuracy for a little more damage and blood just to steal some more health.
Okay. Are there no sigils that affect allies around you?
You could do water that has like a 30% chance on hit to heal allies in an area.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, you could do that.
Synergy.
It just doesn't do damage, so I didn't try it, but it works. It works very well. You could do transfusion as well.
Renewal does that as well, by the way. It heals allies when you weapon swap.
Weapon swap, yeah. You could do those too if you want to. Not a bad idea, especially if you want to go full Healy bot. You could actually go full Healy bot. Like I said, I have a third version of gear for this, and that is with Cleric's gear. So
Clerics? God,
Clerics.
Boots.
I know, you don't lose too much. You lose some damage actually, so you're gonna hit things a lot slower. But you have more healing power, and you have lots of toughness, so you're not gonna die. And you use superior runes of mercy, so you res those guys even faster, and you make lots of friends that way.
Ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. So you go mercy runes on a double well of blood. That's transfuse
right.
Necro.
No one will stay on the ground for longer than a second.
That's cool. That is absolutely nuts.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I'll have footage in the background of this face tanking everything. I have used this in World versus World and PvP as well.
Oh my god, you've used it in World versus World. Can I talk about my improvements to it? Why it's bad?
But just real quickly, if in PvP, minions are pretty crappy.
Yeah, don't even finish that sentence. There is no PvP of this build, guys. There is no PvP of this. You do not.
Minions are pretty crappy.
You do not play Season 11 on this. If I see you in my queue in Season 11, I'll be extremely upset.
You have to just play the full Season 11 on this build.
I will cancel this series here.
I will give you 1 gold if you play all of your games in Season 11, and it has to be at least 10.
You're going to have to find a new wood and potatoes for the subsequent episodes if you ruin my Season 11 experience now.
And the first person to prove it, because I can't afford more than 1 gold.
Oh
but yeah, no, I've actually tried this out in PvP. Luckily, it was unranked, but unfortunately, it's during the period of time where everybody's doing unranked, so there's actually like some actual competition. And you know, the one place I would say that this build does not make friends is PvP. So I wanted to show you, I want to find something that'll kill me, because I wanted to show you another reason this build trivializes content.
But I thought nothing could kill you, Boots.
Just in case you're like AFK or something.
Okay, alright. So go AFK against this veteran assembler.
Okay,
he
I'm
looks
gonna go
intimidating.
AFK against this veteran. We need more than the veteran assembler to kill me.
Really? Why don't you just unequip your armor then? Because you want your stats probably, right? Yeah. It's alright. Look, you aggro the scavenger, the soldier.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand and stuff.
Okay.
So as you know,
go walk into the fire. When you see fires, go actually seek them out.
As you know, Garish Pillar reses per 2% per tick, right?
Right.
So if you cast it right before going down, which I didn't, but you could, you would start resing 2% per tick while in down state.
Okay, and you could precast a Well of Blood onto you as well.
And you just put 2 Well of Bloods on me. Fine, that's good. But that's not the only thing I wanted to show you. I'm gonna go get in some more fire. You can precast Well of Blood on you, but it heals you for like 7,000 health, so it's not that great. But look what happened. Stop killing things.
I didn't kill anything. That was purely your minions that killed. Did your minions really kill something? I haven't used a single skill except Well of Blood over you.
I know. I'm going to go down and show you what happens when you just use auto attack.
Oh, yeah, because this is a blood magic necro, right? So with Signet of Agony, if you have Lake Doric, it's
That's
basically...
Right. I'm in fire, and I'm still out-rezzing the thing. Because of the new Signet of Agony, you cannot die with this build.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually... In some cases, you're sturdier downstate than standing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're in fire, you still out-heal it.
There's your bird. Your bird under the effects of 3 Might, Last Rites, and Vampiric Aura.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's great. Oh, what's also really nice is popping your Desert Shroud on a 20-second cooldown to do a nice quick burst of damage as well, because all of your minions get the double lifesteal damage.
That's really cool. All right, can I give you my adjustments to the build?
No.
Come on, I've got some good ideas. I've got some good ideas, and I'll tell you why it's bad and why it could be better.
All right, okay, go tell me.
Alright, so first of all, a rune choice which you're missing out on. Pack runes. Very nice pack
runes. Oh no,
runes.
I tried those. I used those at first, but it didn't give me enough minions.
Okay, but you get Thrill of the Crime for all of your minions around you. That's pretty good.
It's not so bad.
Give your minions Fury. You have no source of Fury for your minions right now. And giving them that extra crit chance is pretty useful. So I would like that. And the other main thing that I'll add, okay, I mean, I really don't have to... It's a perfect build, obviously, so I don't need to add too much here. I would say maybe turn off the Sand Savant so you can get extra shades. If you consider shades as being minions, clearly it's more on theme to not have Sand Savant up.
Well, I would definitely do that if they were considered minions, but they're not.
You could also burst more might quicker because you can apply 3 separate sources of barrier through summoning.
Yeah.
So you can burst the might up a little bit more. But the real coup de grace, the real thing you've missed out on, is a minion entirely that you could have on this build and you're just not running.
Are you talking about the heal minion?
Nope, I'm talking about a gem store item, the chef outfit. If the meta version of this build would have the chef outfit, because when you get the chef...
I forgot to mention though, you do pull out your ogre pet whistle.
Okay, that's fine. Ogre Pet Whistle. You can get the Jade Armor from...
Jade Armor. But the Jade Armor is pretty crappy.
Well, no, but your meta is you got to do the Ogre Pet Whistle, you do the Jade Armor, you do the Fire Elemental.
No, you can't stack them. You can't stack them.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's one or another. I have all 5 in my inventory right now. It's Ogre Pet Whistle, Jade Armor, your Elemental Powder, your Sun Spear Paragon support... I think there was something else, but I lost it. Oh, there's a deployable thumper turret, but that you can stack. The only problem is that it does not use your lifesteal.
Okay. Do you get the mortar as well? There's the mortar you can drop.
Yeah, but also wouldn't use your lifesteal. Okay,
but the hyena does use your lifesteal. These are all friends for you. But listen, the important one, okay, is the gem store. You get the chef outfit with the chef knife. That allows you to summon a sous chef. Now, the sous chef is a char ally for you, a char, Boots, and you're playing a char, okay, who actually uses pistol whip on opponents, but he stacks bleed with it. He alone can stack about 16 bleed.
But do you have to be in an outfit? Or, like, is it a transform?
No. It's a toy. So you use the toy, you throw the sous chef out, you sheath it, and you've got the sous chef, and he runs around with you, right? Now, here's the thing. This is why this is so cool and why I love being able to introduce this to your build, okay? The sous chef applies a ton of bleed, which your might will improve, obviously, but the sous chef has like 0 health. He's got like 50 HP, even at level 80 zones. So he dies if anything glances. But the barrier! Hell yeah! So you barrier him up. Never before could you do this, but as a Scourge, you can barrier that sucker, and he will be a legitimate ally to you, the sous chef.
For a good... Wait, hold on a second. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, maybe 30 seconds.
You gotta just juggle the barrier. You just gotta juggle it properly. And listen, all your other minions will face tank the hits before he can. So you may actually be able to sustain the sous chef for the first time in Guild Wars 2.
That would be pretty amazing. I would like to ask you though, how much is it in the gem store? Because this makes or breaks the build.
Oh, that's true. Well, I don't know. Is it any different to having to spend a lot of money on Ascended Viper's gear just because you convert it to gems?
I'm not doing Viper's gear.
Well, no, I know, but I mean for other builds, right? I mean,
so
is it really...
by the way, the Cleric's gear That would be the cheap way to do this build. Super cheap, super tanky. You'd spend a gold in the in the TP, and you get your build.
I don't actually know where it would be listed in the gem store. It's a toy though, guys. And you got it for free with the old chef thing. I own it, by the way. It's just not on this character. I'd have to go to a random other toon if you want to see that.
So yeah, just choose your gear based on your lifesteal. Lifesteal, you only need power and you only need healing power. Everything else is superficial. And
the barrier is scaling on healing power as well, so you get double value.
Exactly. So clerics works, marshals works, zealots works in PvP. In PvP,
I also want to note finally as well before I bow out, there is another thing that you can get with you, and that is the feline familiar from the witch outfit, which I know a lot of you cat lovers out there will be thinking of right now. But the feline familiar doesn't actually fight. So it's not the same as the sous chef.
Well, I guess he'll hang out. Yeah, he'll hang out with my little golem mini pet.
Yeah, so you can do that. There also
hold on
might
a second.
Let's
count them up. Let's count them up. We got Bone Minion, Bone Fiend, Hyena. That's 4. Shadow Fiend, Flesh Golem. That's 6. We got our little mini pet. That's 7. Well, that doesn't count, I guess. Let's say that doesn't count. We got 7 with the bird though. With the tropical bird parrot.
Sous chef is 8.
Sous chef is 8, but let's say I don't have that. We have the 2 jagged horrors from that trait. We're at 9, and then me is 10. We got a full raid party.
Boom! You're the one-man raid. That's what this should be called, dude.
That's right. I mean, I did solo a low-level fractal. I soloed the molten boss fractal.
I did solo Ken with this, by the way, guys. I just want to add. That would be like so random to drop in at the end.
I've also been able to solo tank a bunch of what's it called? A bunch of
open world champions.
Well, yes, absolutely. But I was gonna say bounties.
Okay.
But the issue is if they have those healing coalescences, you can't outdamage that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because you are fairly low pressure. That's why the might's important, man. Strength runes. Scrap it all. Just put strength runes on. Keep the might rolling.
I would say the best way to play this build is actually find another friend, and friends will join you, like flock to you. If you look this good and you have all these other friends, they'll be like, "Oh, I want to be with that guy." So you just you find a friend that does a ridiculous amount of damage but needs as many reses as possible, and you go around with that person.
Do you know what they should do with death magic? Necromantic Corruption. They should split the damage buff away from it. It should instead be like a different thing, and it should be minions do 25% damage and have perma fury and quickness. That's what
I would say. Yeah, that would be
cool. A very cool trait.
The fact that Flesh of the Master is so useless, the toughness component is so useless, I'd say put the 25% on that and just remove the 100 toughness.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants?
Well, the stacking buff showing how many minions you have is really cool. There's
nice
so many ways the devs can make good MMs.
Just remove the toughness portion of it and show how many minions you have. It's 20 toughness per minion, like.
Yeah, or it could be. I mean, there's so many. They all feel so Grandmaster though. It could be the more minions you have, gain extra procs of Flesh of the Master, which is equivalent to like 1 might. For each of your minions.
Maybe.
So it's like a strength in numbers kind of thing for your minions.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, a way to give them fury and quickness as a Scourge would be like really, really, really cool. Or I mean, maybe they're saving that for an actual death magic plus elite specialization in the future, right?
Mm-hmm,
maybe that's what the Banshee, the vampire thing will be.
I don't know how it's going to beat the Scourge. The fact that the Scourge has
the Scourge is
access.
Defensively oriented, and that one could be aggressively oriented, perhaps.
Oh, okay. I think you just came up with a new elite spec, and that concludes Boots' bad builds.
The series in general.
Yeah.